Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast,
De-Influenced.
Hi, babe. How are you?
Do I look nice?
You look so handsome as always. Can I just say something really fast because I know you're about to say something? I'm so happy about this week because this is one of those weeks where I really love you.
Oh, really? I genuinely felt the opposite.
No, I yeah. We're
Really?
good. Yeah, I felt that way last week, too.
Well, I was gone.
Yeah, oh, that's right. That's why.
Yeah, no, I know. Honestly, like all of the guys who came with me on this trip, I asked them, I've only asked 2 of them, but I was like, how did your wives respond when you came home?
Yeah.
And most of them, 90% of them were like, honestly, it was great.
It was the best.
Like she kind of told me to do it more often.
To leave?
Yeah, because I mean, in everything that we do, we're always so close to you guys that I feel like it was a sense of independence and autonomy coming back.
It was so nice to just like feel that independence too.
Yeah.
And to not know what you were doing every day. Like there was so much to look forward to.
Yeah.
And it was just great. Like we should do this more often.
Except I would call you a lot, but I just assumed you were asleep.
I was.
Yeah.
I was sleeping. My Bonjesta, you know, the Unisem plus B6 complex. That thing will just knock you right out. It's like, what's the purpose of really just... okay, this is my idea.
Yes.
And you have to admit...
Don't share this idea. This idea is too good.
You think?
Yeah. I've thought about it a lot since
really?
you said it. Yeah.
Oh my... No, not that idea.
Oh, okay.
A different one.
Different idea.
I know. That one's genius. I'm not telling anybody that one. Are you kidding me?
But it's okay.
I'm going to change the world with that idea.
It's up here in the noggin.
I know.
I've already made a few phone calls.
Okay. Have you really?
No, but I've thought about it.
It's so genius.
I got to get some other things organized.
Okay, second genius idea. Or just idea in general is that, so you know, like after the Great Depression, 20s, 30s, 40s, men are like back out working again. If, you know, they're out of the house, they're taking control. What?
You just went Great Depression, men are out working again.
Okay, sorry. Okay. I was just thinking about like when America was like finally getting its footing.
Yes.
And like men are out of the house, like women are back in the home.
Yes.
And they're making babies.
Okay.
They're populating again because everything is like healthy. Why are you laughing?
Just keep going. None of these things are true, but it's okay.
Wait, what was that not
like
true?
I'm pretty sure fertility rates are like down significantly.
Okay, but I'm talking about like the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what decade we're on. Okay, sorry.
No, but like in the time, okay, I'm not making any sense.
No, you are.
Okay,
Great
keep
Depression.
going.
Great Depression. People get back to work. Men are out of the house. People are making babies.
I'm just saying this is such a roundabout way to have this idea.
Come on, it's good.
This is just so ridiculous.
Someone's going to take it and run with it.
Okay. No, it's not an idea for the future. Okay. So, if men were pregnant at those times instead of women, there would have been rehab centers created for men in their first trimesters.
I see. So it's like
because it would have been like an establishment, like it would have been like a thing that like culturally, like we all do.
Yes.
But because women are the ones that are pregnant, like we weren't out there building as much.
Rehab. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You were at home just suffering through your first
suffering through our
trimesters.
pregnancies. So my idea is a rehab center for pregnant people.
Okay.
During their first trimester.
Okay.
Because honestly, you should have just sent me off.
I think you wanted me to send you off.
I was like, can we make up something? Can you just send me somewhere?
Yeah. Okay. What would you do with these? Like, what's the difference between
you would just be like catered and pampered and taken care of and make sure you get your vitamins in and like all the things that we need as like prenatal woman.
Okay. So like a hotel.
Yeah, but like a rehab center because it's like you're rehabilitating.
From your first trimester.
Yeah, or like, you know, they can like help you with your diet, help you with your nutrition, help you with your exercise, like getting you ready for your second and third trimester. You have to admit, if men were pregnant, they would already have these things.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you.
You have to admit that. Or there would be like, you get off work your whole entire pregnancy, like with pay.
Oh, now that's a really good idea, Danny. So like a pre-pregnancy leave.
Yeah, 100%. Your first trimester leave.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, like, the more I've
Revolutionary.
talked to more like females, like and there's been 2 or 3 of my friends that are bloggers that are pregnant at the same time as me. And like, I was texting her and she was like 10 weeks. I was like 8 weeks. And I was like, girl, how are you doing like your brand deals? Like, how are you working? She's like, she sent me a screenshot that she sent to her management and was like, it was like paragraphs long, and she was apologizing because she was missing every single due date. Like, she wasn't able to get on camera. She was so sick. She was taking care of 2 or 3 other kids. I have a rehab center we can bring your kids to.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I like your idea more of normalizing pre-pregnancy first trimester leave.
Yeah.
That seems good.
Before we move on to things that make you go, today's episode is brought to you by Dreamland Baby. Y'all know we swear by Dreamland Baby when it comes to sleep sacks and swaddles for our kids, and we're so excited to use them for baby number 3. Their weighted sleep swaddle and weighted sleep sack works just like an adult's weighted blanket and helps take your kids' anxiety down. It's been such an amazing addition to our household, and it's one of my number 1 most recommended products for any new parents out there. The weighted sleep swaddle is for your newborn. I learned about Dreamland Baby a few months into having Stella, so we started with this weighted sack for her, but Stratton started with the weighted swaddle. The easy-to-use built-in swaddle band makes swaddling a breeze for you and your baby. And best of all, the Dream weighted swaddle can be worn 3 ways, both arms in, 1 arm in, or both arms out, to effortlessly adapt to your baby's changing sleep needs and provide them with the security and comfort they deserve, just like a hug. They can then transition to the sack once they're ready. Head over to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter code DANNY at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers.
Divvy's going to unionize and start demanding
I know. Which means like,
they're going to be out picket signs outside of
we
our
won't
house.
have anybody working at Divvy
Pre-pregnancy leave.
because we're all females.
Oh no, that was a problem 2022.
Yeah, all of our team got pregnant and we're like, bye. Yeah, so anyway, I just know for a fact that if men were the pregnant ones, there would be more resources.
Yeah, like a gentleman's club, but for their first trimesters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like more like, not like, I don't know, wisdom, knowledge around medication you can take and nausea, all this stuff. Like it was really hard.
You know what's so funny is I came back from New York. This is how I know Danny's feeling better. So I come back from New York, and on Saturday I hear her filming an Instagram story, and she's like, hey guys, like I haven't done a lot of Amazon shopping lately, but I just got like a new huge order in, and I like look at the order and it's like 7 boxes deep, and I was like, she's back. She's back. Yeah,
that's
and
one
then
thing
also,
about me.
The other reason I know you're back is because the entirety of her first trimester, she was saying, I can't do 4. I can't do 4. I'll never get pregnant again. Don't ever let me do this. Jordan, seriously, don't let me do this. And then I come home and she's like, you know what? Like 4 makes sense. We should do 4.
Well, it's because, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. But it's because the Bongesta.
I know. When you're suffering, it's really hard to see the other side.
I know, but wouldn't it be so sad to not have a 4th child just because you are severely struggling for 6 weeks?
I mean, I've literally said that to you for the past 6 weeks.
But the hard thing about 6 weeks is like, it's not the blink of an eye. Like actually when you're going through it, it's a long time.
Is it 6 weeks or 12 weeks?
I
guess
the
you're
symptoms
right. Start.
Yeah, the symptoms start. It was about 6 or 7 weeks of suffering.
Yeah.
But like, it's like only 6 or 7 weeks, but it's like, man, that is a long time.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of like hard for me to get used to your energy again, because like I got in this routine of like, okay, Danny's going to be sleepy. She's a little on the sadder side. It's okay.
Yeah.
And now you're like, you're so fire that when you said this is a week where I love you, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. It's not that you didn't, you were just,
no, I'm just having one of those weeks where
Sleepy
it's like, yeah, it's just like, love you. It's like, it's great. I mean, you're really something.
Wow. This is such a win.
You're just really something. I mean,
was in the podcast.
He's lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
He looks pretty fire without his shirt on.
Keep it coming.
He has been learning so much. Like you're always learning and reading, which you always know. I find that so attractive.
Oh, I've been doing that for years though.
I know, but it's really picked up lately.
Has it?
Yeah.
Huh. I feel like it's gone down.
Yeah. So I always find that so attractive. Your hair's been looking great.
haircut every 3 weeks now.
I like the fact that like you leave me alone whenever you know that, you know, you're not too like clingy.
I know. I'm doing that with Stella.
Yes. I see you doing that with Stella.
I know. It's like I took all that energy that I would use to be clingy with you and I'm pouring it on her. And she's like, Daddy, I do not want to hug right now. And I'm like, just one.
Stella and I are the same person. It's
Y'all are the
so
same person.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And Strat and I are the same person.
I know.
We're big cuddlers.
So true. Stella and I will like sit next to each other and like cuddle and watch a movie, but like we won't touch, but we'll be like an inch away from each other.
Yeah.
It's like, it means everything to us.
Wow. Should we talk about our last weeks? Because I feel like we haven't really got a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
What did you do last week? I would love to tell you about my trip, but
I gagged a lot.
Mm-hmm. You had an ice cream event?
I did. Divvy had an ice cream event. The Bongestia was kicking that day. It was a lot of fun. It was like, I have the coolest story. It was, you know, whenever you announce an event that you're going to have to the public, the day of you have the event, it's like, are people really going to show up? You know, I posted at noon that we were going to have a 5 to 7 o'clock ice cream social. Yeah. But it was really special to see that people actually did come. And the crazy story is our second spot was outside of Ulta. And so, you know, Divvy sold at all Ultas. So the line, I don't know how many people were there, but it was a good amount. So we're going through the line. I get to meet everyone. All the conversations are like so sweet. A lot of people brought their moms, which was like really special. And then this sweet blonde lady comes up and she looks at Tornado. She's like, oh, are you the owner of Divvy? She's like, I have to tell you something. And my mom's like, no, this is the owner of Divvy, Danny, and her husband. And she was like, and she was holding a little Divvy bag, or sorry, an Ulta bag. And you could tell that there was like a box of Divvy inside. And she was like, I don't know who you are, but can I come give you a hug? Like, you have changed my dad's life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, tell me more. And she said that her dad was going through chemo, has lost all of his hair. The chemo has also like really caused like a lot of dryness and sore spots on his scalp. And Divvy is the only thing that is soothing to him. And it's like his favorite part of his routine every day because it feels so good. And it's made like the biggest difference with his scalp and just his comfort levels. And she started crying as she was telling me. She was with her son as well. And she was like, I don't know who you are, but like, I just want to say thank you so much for creating this product. And, you know, I went out and I hugged her and I'm like, well, wait a minute. How did you know about this event? You know, because our bus was actually kind of hidden. It wasn't right outside of Ulta because we actually weren't allowed to park there because of like the height requirements. Yeah. So we were kind of hidden in the shop. And she was like, oh, I was upstairs at Ulta buying my dad's another bottle. And the lady at checkout said, oh, you know, Divvy's here serving free ice cream. You should go downstairs. So she just came downstairs and I happened to meet her.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So she had no idea who we were, who the founders were, she goes, I don't even know what your story is. But she's like, the timing was crazy.
How did her dad find out about Divvy?
So there is like a hospital here in Dallas that like all the doctors, when any cancer patient is going through chemo, they recommend Divvy to all of their patients. That's
great. That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part.
Because Divvy is like truly whenever you are going through chemo or anything that's really like, I mean, any medical illness, you really shouldn't be using a lot of these ingredients that are super harmful for your hormones and the processes of your body. And like, we don't have any of that stuff. And so it's something that you can use. We have like a lot of natural ingredients that are doing the same job. And so doctors love it. Hi, Stella. Uh-oh.
She's probably mad. She wants to come in. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, it's crazy. I was in New York last week.
Yeah.
And, I invited my friends to New York. I called it an integrated work week because I don't know. I was going to be there for a week. You couldn't come with me. And I get really sad in hotel rooms by myself.
Yeah, they say men shouldn't travel alone.
No, I know that. And I'm glad that you said that because I was going to bring it up, but I was like, is that weird? Like, is that a weird statement? But like, I think a lot of like pastors don't travel alone in hotel rooms.
Can I ask you what men do alone in a hotel room?
Honestly, like,
Just be honest. Like, I'm just curious. Like, you don't just say that
Yeah,
you do it, but like, what is like the stereotypical thing that a male does in a hotel room alone?
To be completely honest, I feel like there's a lot of like temptations for pornography in hotels, in hotel rooms, because the hotels typically offer it. I think that there's just something about.
Isn't that like embarrassing whenever you're checking out though?
I don't know. I truly have never
just
indulged, but I think that like, but it doesn't have to be like in the hotel, like through the hotel, but like people can have their computers
because they're alone. I assume.
I think that like when men are separated from their like families and their purpose, and that's like their routine and like their like lifestyle, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Like I just think it gets really dark. And so I was like really worried about being there for a week. Cause like I can do like a couple of days, but I get really lonely and kind of like isolated.
Tell people who you invited.
So I invited 5 of my friends, and I texted them. I said, hey, you know, would you guys want to come and like all get a bigger place? Cause I was going to buy a hotel room anyway. So I was like, I'll just get a big Airbnb, just buy your flights, and y'all can come work out in New York, and then we'll go out at night. And so I invited Devin, Janelle's husband, Miles, Allie's husband, and Caleb. Connor Combs, and then Caleb.
Yeah.
And it was the best 2 days of our lives. I mean, we only had 2 nights there together, but we lived it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably got home at 2 a.m, like every single night. And I had like, we all had meetings the next day.
Yeah.
But that city is crazy. It never goes to sleep.
I know.
And so we went to the Comedy Cellar, which is like the famous comedy bar, and that was like, you remember Adam Glenn, our paparazzi friend?
Yeah.
So Danny and I have this paparazzi friend named Adam Glenn, and every time I'm in New York I text him, and he's always hooking us up with the most fun things.
Because he knows what's going on.
He knows what's going on. He knows every doorman. He was like, oh, these are my crew, this is my friends. And so all of my friends,
we met him through Tony Robbins.
Yeah, they kept asking me, how do you know this paparazzi guy? And I was like, he invited us to a Tony Robbins thing.
Well, he used to be like Tony Robbins, like left hand, no?
He was like running PR, I think, for
Tony
like
Robbins,
he was the one who's
tour.
responsible for like getting all the celebrities or influencers there. But anyway, for half the night, my friends, and I don't blame them, were like, this guy's full of crap, Adam Glenn.
Oh, no, he's not.
Because he name drops and he's like, oh yeah, my buddy's the chain smokers. No, I met Oprah last week and I was with Conor McGregor.
He really does.
And it wasn't until he started pulling out pictures and showing that like it was actually legit. And it wasn't until he got us into this like sold out comedy show, got 5 of us into this comedy show, that they were like, Adam Glenn is the man.
Did you see Judd Apatow?
Yeah, so we took a picture with Judd Apatow. I'm going to say this publicly, not great at stand-up. Was
Really?
not funny. No.
I love him, though. I love his movies.
Yeah, his movies are funny, but he kind of tried to tell like 50 plus jokes to like a younger audience, and so it was very unrelatable. And guess who else was there that night?
Who?
Ben Stiller.
What?
He's in the back of the room.
Did you see him?
No.
You didn't see him?
No,
Then
but
how do you know?
because everyone was talking about it as we left. He was like in the back.
Man, I
Yeah.
love Ben Stiller.
But we had a great time. We saw Hadestown, which is still in my number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going to go see Wicked.
I know.
That might trump Hadestown.
I know. But you know, the craziest thing about New York, and this is something that we all felt, is it's so dark. Like, so 2 things happened to me. Let me tell you this. One time we were walking down the street and this homeless lady grabbed my arm very tight, like it left marks. And she said, please, sir, don't drink my blood. And I was like, that's weird, but this is just New York. It's fine. And then another time we were walking down the street. This was the next day.
Maybe it's because she thought you looked like a vampire.
Maybe, but explain this. So then the next day we're walking down the street. This homeless man walks out of the subway, throws a Coke can, hits me in the leg, and then it starts spilling everywhere. And I'm like, ow. And I was kind of like mad. And then we all looked down and it was this pee.
Oh my God.
He had peed in a Coke can and thrown it at my leg. And so like by that time, and I was already kind of feeling this like sort of darkness, because, you know, they joked about this at the Comedy Cellar. People in New York are generally, they don't seem like the happiest people. Like they seem kind of like unhappy. They're kind of mean and rude. And so all of us were like Texans, like, wow, the Big Apple. And like, they just seemed really down on us. And then after the Coke can hit my leg, I was like,
You're out.
This is spiritual warfare.
Spiritual warfare.
No, Caleb thought so too. He was like, this feels spiritual.
Why?
I don't know. I also think it's because everything else going on in our life that is like really hard. And I was like really burdened by that. And then homeless people are throwing Coke cans and telling me not to drink their blood. So I was like, I feel attacked right now. I need prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it can be a very dark place.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you went with your guys.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And I bet it was really good for the guys too, because a lot of them are like new dads, and like it's nice for them to take like 1 or 2 days. And
yeah,
you know,
I think when you're a dad, it's like 1 to 2 day trips are like perfect.
Yeah.
Because I had to be there for a week, but they all missed their kids like by the second day.
Well, and then you went for divvy meetings.
Yeah, pretty. I don't think I can talk about it yet, but like, yes, a lot of outside people were looking at divvy.
And I was supposed to go, but there was just no way.
It felt, not every meeting people were expecting you, but I definitely knew the ones where they were.
What did you tell them?
I told them you were in your first trimester.
Okay.
And a lot of the times they would go through the whole meeting and then be like, by the way, I love your family. And I'd be like,
you're like, why didn't you tell me at the beginning?
Well, yeah, it's like so much. I would have, been able to kind of skip a lot of points.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was not as hard as when you set me up at UT to speak for you, but
that was hard.
Our yin and yang would have been amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, we're going back to New York for like a press brunch, PR brunch for Divvy. And then I have an interview for Women's Wear Daily, which will be really fun. And so we'll have a time to redeem ourselves.
Can I show you one thing I did discover in New York?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of Central C?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever heard of UK drill rap?
No. Once
again. My gosh. It's a whole genre that you've been sleeping on. Can I just show you?
K-pop?
No, it's so much better. Let me just play a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a taste. This is Central C. He's huge in the UK.
What is this like? Oh, this guy?
I listened to this so many times on the street.
I know the song.
This is the most popular
one.
I
work out to this song. Man, I love you, but one thing you don't have, babe, is swag.
No, I know. But this, when I put in my headphones and I'm walking down the street in New York, it's like I know how I look in real life to other people, but in my head, in my head, I am Central C.
It's kind of like when you're skiing with music.
Yes.
Which is not good. People should not do that. But
yes, exactly. So you listen to UK drill rap?
I've listened to that song specifically.
Oh, there's a whole playlist on Spotify you should get into.
I bet. I've been more into sad songs lately.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
On the way to the Rangers game, you like put on like some folk music and I was like, is she okay? I was like, Danny, I was like, the family needs some energy. Yeah. We do not need this.
Oh my gosh. I was going to die on the way to the Rangers game. Like my mom did not stop talking for the whole hour ride. But like I was trying so hard to, cause like I know that like she wasn't doing anything wrong. Like I was just annoyed. Like I was hormonal. Like it was just me. Like I was the problem, not my mom. But like I wanted to pull my hair out, but like, so the whole time I didn't say anything. I'm like, but I also was kind of still feeling nauseous, remember? Mm-hmm. And so on the way home, I was like, okay, I get to put on, and I just like blasted sad music.
You did.
It's just, I've been in my feels.
It's good.
The depression from the perinatal depression is like still lingering.
Yeah.
Which, talk about spiritual warfare. It makes a lot of sense, I think, for like that to happen during the time that you are like literally growing like a miracle in your stomach, because like that takes away all of your joy pretty much. Yeah. And it's like that would be the time that Satan would attack. You know what I mean?
I do want to ask this, like, to be clear, you do feel like you were being attacked while I was gone?
While you were gone?
Yeah. Like, just in general, do you feel like
not while you were gone?
Do you feel like this season there's like a thickness of like both good and bad?
Yes, but it's so like physical for me.
Yeah, yours is physical. Mine's more emotional, mental.
Yeah, no, mine's not emotional, mental, because like, for example, nothing changed for me mentally or emotionally on Sunday. The only thing that changed was my physical well-being. And then physically, because I felt better physically, I felt like I was able to feel better mentally and emotionally. Oh. But it's not like the other way around. Like this Sunday was the first time that like I've felt like I woke up and I felt good. Like, you know, so I was like, oh my gosh, I woke up like, I feel good. Let's go to church. Like I was so excited, you know, to get the day started. Typically, like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, like getting out of bed is going to be so hard for me. Like it's the hardest task is to get out of bed. And it's like a physical weight. Yeah. But there's no reason I feel that way most of the time, except for it's like physical. I don't know. But yeah, I still think that like it is like spiritual, the fact that it's affecting me physically. But it's like whenever that's happening, I don't know a way to fix it because it's not like I can get my mind in like a better place.
I know.
So I just have to force myself to get up and I have to force myself to just do things. And then I maybe start to feel better as I keep going. But it's very easy. Like if I didn't have 2 kids, like I would be in bed all day. Yeah.
We need prayers.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Like on top of those 2 homeless experiences, like, you know, so many good things are happening. Like I feel like we're exactly where like the Lord wants us to be. But me personally, I'm like more anxious than ever. Like even when we sat down for this podcast, like my anxiety is probably like really? A 7 right now.
Oh no, why? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm burying it.
Yeah.
7 layers deep into the ground. Know. But like, no.
What are you most anxious about?
I don't know. I kind of just feel like this weird sense of
doom.
Kind of. you're like, I know this well. No, like darkness. Like I
don't feel that.
And like weird, like today. I'm doing something wrong, but I'm not doing anything wrong.
Real quick, before we move on, I want to know your gender prediction for this baby.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a girl. I'm pulling for boy. I'm obviously happy with whatever, but I'm pulling for boy. I think that 2 girls on top of Stella, I'm like, whew, okay, we better brace for impact. Whereas I feel like a boy will really like level things out.
Yeah.
You know, like it'll level Stella out. Yeah. Stratton will have a little bud.
I am 50-50. I don't really care, except for the one upside to having a girl is I've noticed that girls stay in the family longer.
That could be true.
Boys tend to get married and then they're close to their wives' families.
Yep.
Because typically the wife is really close with her mom, or like it's just, you know, females are sometimes more like nurturing and, you know, keep a better relationship with their parents. Not always, but, and so yeah, I feel like that would be nice to have some more girls. And plus, I feel like girls take care of you when you're old.
I mean, Stella's extremely nurturing. I mean, she's like a little mini mom to Stratton now.
No, she really is, which was so sweet yesterday. Mm-hmm. She's like really into cuddling Stratton right now whenever he's scared, or like we were walking across the street at Park House and like she was like, come on, Bubba, hold my hand. You must hold my hand because there are cars. It is very dangerous. Yeah. Hold my hand.
Yeah. She's so funny.
It's very cute.
And I mean, are we still like just publicly on public record? Are we still not finding out the gender?
I mean, I haven't asked for the test.
I mean, can I ask for the test?
No, because you don't.
I'm a 50% stakeholder in this baby.
Support for de-influence comes from LMNT. As you all know, I've been on the struggle bus with my pregnancy nausea, which means staying hydrated is that much more important. Actually, fun fact, my doctor told me to put LMNT into my water because she said I was drinking so much water, but it was just all still water and it wasn't actually like doing anything, because I was drinking 3 or 4 Stanleys a day during my when I was like 6 or 7 weeks pregnant, and she told me like I really needed my electrolytes. LMNT is a 0 sugar electrolyte drink mix born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. LMNT is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration and is perfectly suited for athletes, moms, folks who are fasting, or those following keto, low carb, whole food, or paleo diets. With so many yummy different flavor options, it makes drinking water fun. Right now, LMNT is offering a free sample pack with any drink purchase. That's an 8 single serving packet free with any LMNT order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share LMNT with a salty friend. Get yours at drinklmnt.com/dinfluence. Go to drinklmnt.com/dinfluence. And if you're an LMNT Insider, you have first access to LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Jordan's favorite sponsor, Cozy Earth. This podcast is sponsored by Cozy Earth. As y'all know, I've spent a lot of time in bed last month or so as I deal with pregnancy exhaustion and nausea. Let me tell you, my sheets are what make my bed my safe haven. Fun fact, Jordan actually found these sheets from Reddit and claims that they have cured my night sweats. I really haven't had night sweats lately, which is so weird.
I cured them.
I cured them. They're the most comfortable sheets. We're obsessed with them, so much so that we had to order an extra set because we couldn't wait for them to get out of the wash. Cozy Earth sheets have a 10-year warranty and they're made from viscose from bamboo, making them temperature regulating and breathable. Perfect for hot summers. Visit CozyEarth.com to enjoy 30% off or use code Austin at checkout. And after placing your order, select podcast in the survey and then select De-Influence in the drop-down menu that follows.
Woo.
I love Cozy Earth. I love our sponsors. We have really good ones.
Can I take my shoes off?
Your shoes are very squeaky, but yes, you may.
Okay, thank you. It's like, is it hot in here?
Gosh, do you own any of your own socks or did you just steal mine?
No, I steal your short socks.
My question is like, why don't you buy your own?
I don't know. That's a very valid and realistic question. I don't know
Also,
why I don't.
like if you weren't married to me, actually, no, let me start from the beginning. Have you ever bought yourself new underwear? Like, when have you bought yourself new underwear?
I think one time I bought Calvin Klein's from Nordstrom.
Probably before you met me.
I think it was, during our marriage.
It was during our marriage?
Yeah. It's when I transitioned from boxers to briefs, which I could be wrong about this, but Landon, I think, still needs to do that.
Landon still needs to do that. We're still working on it. He's still going
Once
through puberty.
Once he gets married, he will transition.
I don't know.
I mean, it's insane to me that he's still in boxers.
But it's insane to me that you've been wearing the same underwear for like 10 years.
That's like pretty fair. I'm not going to lie.
Like, do you know, I just want to tell you, like, I buy new underwear like probably every 6 months.
Huh.
I wear the ones, like, I still wear the same underwear that I had from probably 3 years ago, as long as they are, like, really nice. Like, the one thing my mom always told me was, like, you do not want to be the girl with gross underwear. Like, that's, like, falling apart or, like, you know, like, looking ratty or pilling. My mom was like, that's so gross.
Well, so mine are black, so I feel like it's really hard to see the wear and tear on them. I
know, but that's kind of gross.
You know, right now in this moment, I'm realizing that you're right. Like in this moment right now. So I would be so curious how often guys replace their underwear. You know who you should ask? I hate to keep putting him on the spot. Devin.
Why?
I bet that guy buys new underwear every 3 months.
Okay, so, but like, then why is he the guy to ask?
Because I think that he's like the only one. But if I called Miles, he'd be like, bro, dude, I haven't bought new underwear since college, which is fair, honestly.
Yeah, call him.
Yeah, this is important enough.
Oh my gosh. All I remember is like when I used to do the laundry as a kid, my dad always wore waddy-tighties and I would have to fold them.
Yeah. See, that's the ultimate.
That's the worst.
That's the low.
What's up?
Hey, Devin, you're live on the podcast.
Awesome.
Hey, Devin, how frequently do you replace your underwear?
Or when's the last time you bought new underwear?
Probably about a year ago.
A year ago.
That's not bad.
So do you do it annually, would you say?
No.
It's like not a high priority to you, right?
I don't know why it would be.
Right.
If they're still working.
Well,
if they're still working,
that's
right.
such a dude answer.
So
still working.
How many pairs do you have on rotation?
I'm honestly a bit concerned why I was the one chosen.
Honestly, this speaks highly of your character. I bet that Miles and I rotated on a like every 3-year basis. And I was like, I bet Devin rotates every 3 months.
How many pairs do you have?
It speaks to your hygiene, Devin.
You know what? I appreciate that. I'll take that, but that is not the case.
How many pairs do you have, Jordan?
I have like 15.
Oh, okay. It's not bad. He does not have them.
That are 3 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they're 10
maybe
years
4.
old. His are 10 years old.
No. This honestly speaks to the... Are you Calvin Klein?
No, I actually use Bill randomly.
Built. Interesting. Okay. Plug. Sponsor.
Sponsor.
No,
Okay.
not sponsored.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'm going to call Miles and see what his rotation is.
Okay, you might want to buy some new ones, though.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
I know.
you
I
too.
realized that on this podcast.
Okay, good job.
Okay, bye. Just for the sake of the content.
No, Allie buys them Amazon ones. Are you kidding me? You probably have so many.
I know, but the question is, how often have you personally replaced your own underwear?
Yeah, but I want to know like what brand Allie buys for him that he likes from the Zon.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Hey, you're live on the podcast.
Again.
Oh, boy, here we go again. Let me
Okay.
get off the speakerphone real quick.
Oh, honestly, that was worse. Oh,
All right. I'm
okay.
here.
Hey,
Very
quick
serious question.
Very serious question. Be honest, okay?
Okay.
How often do you replace your underwear?
How often do I replace my underwear? I couldn't say I replace my underwear, but like, I mean, they stay in rotation for 4+ years.
That's what I'm saying. Let me ask you this. How often do you think Devin replaces his underwear?
I mean, do you think it's like on a twice a year, once a year?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Okay,
He said once a year, to be honest.
does Allie have like what underwear do you wear? What?
Yeah, what brand are you going with?
So I have the Sax underwear, which I cannot be a bigger fan
Yeah,
of.
those
are good.
AXX,
Yep.
and they're great quality. So if you got good quality underwear, you don't have to worry about it.
Do they have the fun
Now,
prints
I
on
think-
them?
What's that?
Do you have the ones with the avocados on them?
I don't have that print, but I do have some pretty wild prints.
So does Jordan.
You know, I think the guys' situation is a bit different than the girls because we don't have designed wedgies.
Yes,
For us. So
true.
that makes a big difference. Plus, our material's just better, in my opinion.
How many do you have on rotation?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, same.
So both socks and underwear, I'm a big fan of having a ton of. So like underwear, I probably have 15 pair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like you.
That's
and
me.
then socks. If I was allowed, I'd wear a new pair of socks every day. Nothing gets me more excited than wearing a new pair of socks.
Well, okay, go ahead and plug it. What's your favorite sock brand?
Okay, so I really don't. I don't have a name brand that I use. I just kind of find the knockoffs on Amazon and let them go to work. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not afraid to replace my socks. Those are something like
That's a
once they
bold
get
move right
thin,
there.
They're out of here.
Okay, thank you for your advice.
You're so very welcome. Help. All right,
Bye, Miles.
Okay, that's settled.
That's settled then.
Yeah, I it's time. It's time for me. Honestly, the 2 males listening to this podcast, I'm telling you, it's hitting them in the heartstrings too.
Yeah,
they're gonna
feeling
go
it.
replace.
They're feeling it.
Yes.
And for all the ladies out there, hanky pankies. It's where it's at. The original rise, not the low rise. I hate those.
What's
Original
wrong with the
rise.
low rise?
They're just really low and they're so uncomfortable. The original are like fit really well on your hips. And they're also hanky pankies are like a one size fits all because the lace stretches so far that it's just like you don't feel them on. They're the best. And I like I said, mine last forever. So anyway, man, I'm glad
How do we get
covered
down
that.
that? Oh, the socks. Yeah. The
Yeah.
socks.
Moving on to things that make you go, Topic number 1, different strokes for different folks, or maybe different parenting for different children. So as any parent knows, once you start having multiple kids, every child is unique, different, and requires their own version of parenting. What works for one child doesn't always work for the other, and vice versa. Now that we're about to have a third child, it's going to throw in a whole other set of learning and parenting skills because, again, every child is different. So let's talk about it. What are some of the ways that we're already noticing that we're parenting Stella and Stratton differently?
Well, I'll tell a story. Happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're swimming in the pool. Okay. And Stella's throwing her toys in the water because she wants to put on her goggles and see them underwater. And I'm just kind of sitting there with my back to her. And all of a sudden I get this sharp pain in my head. And she had thrown a ceramic bucket at my head.
Like as hard as she could.
As hard as she could. Like it still hurts today. And I did not know in that moment whether she did it on purpose, like she was trying to throw it in the pool, or she intentionally went into one of her rage fits and got angry and threw it at my head.
It's only because you weren't paying attention to her.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I didn't sleep last night thinking about this. I was like, did my child try to kill me? Like, okay. And so Stella, and it could just be her age. Danny keeps saying it's normal.
Jordan like came to me last night. He was like, babe, I'm really worried about Stella.
She gets so angry.
She has a temper.
She's
3.
Yeah, they call it, what are the big little feelings?
Yes.
But hers
Jordan
are monstrosities.
You're like not, like you think that Stella is like an adult. And so when she does something,
babe,
you're like,
she acts like an adult.
No, but she's not, babe. She's a child. And like, she doesn't know how to deal with her emotions. And so Jordan would be like, Stella, I don't like your attitude. I'm like, babe, she doesn't know what that means. Like, she doesn't know what your attitude means. I'm like, I tell Stella, I'm like, if you're angry, yell in a pillow. If you're angry, stomp your feet. If you're angry, clench your fist. Like I tell her, I'm like, be angry. Like let her be angry. She's not doing anything, no harm to anyone. I said, don't hit. And don't say bad words.
Well, she hit.
Don't scream at mommy. I know, but like sometimes
daddy.
you get frustrated whenever she just has feelings. Like she's angry and you're like, I don't like your attitude. Like if you're going to keep acting like this, then we need to go time out. I'm like, she's not doing anything wrong. She's just being expressive. I know because I am her sometimes.
She's not.
I'm like,
okay, but what's the line between being expressive and being disrespectful?
Or like, I also hate whenever like people are like, okay, like now that, you know, like she does something wrong and it's like, okay, now you have to go hug daddy or hug. I'm like, no, she doesn't want to go hug anybody. If you told me to go hug you after we had a fight, I would slap you. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to go hug you. I need time. I need time to move on.
Yeah.
Don't force Stella to do things when that's not how she's feeling in the moment. Cause she's not like mature enough to like process her emotions.
Well, we did have a 30-minute stalemate yesterday because I was like, we're not leaving this pool until you say sorry. And then she was like, I don't want to say sorry. And I was like, you threw a ceramic bowl at my head.
Yeah.
She caved, but it took 30 minutes.
But did you explain to her and say, Stella,
yeah,
we don't throw things. When you throw things, that hurts daddy.
Yes. And I said, even though, again, we debated this, she kept saying it was an accident, but she's so cunning that I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm 50-50. She's like, I was like, is it an accident? She was like,
dude, she's so like,
she's manipulative.
And so like, I could see her doing it on purpose and then being like, oh shoot, I should have done that. It's an accident.
I know. That's what I think happened is she went into a rage fit over whatever and then threw it and then was like, oh, that was bad. Because she knew immediately she did something wrong.
Yeah.
Mostly because my reaction was like, oh my gosh, ow.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but I'll wave the white flag. I am struggling to parent Stella. Like I am struggling because she is so strong-willed.
I just let her
so
feel.
Smart.
Let her feel.
Let her feel.
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 things that like I don't allow her to do, but everything else, like I'm like, okay, she's angry. She's throwing it like,
but like, I'm so scared that if we keep letting her get her way, that she will become a brat.
I get it. But like, she is not like there. Like I said, there's boundaries, and if she crosses them, then she gets in trouble. But like, you're dealing with a 3-year-old. Like you're not. They're not. Their brains are not developed enough to understand.
She's 3.5.
Okay, I feel like I'm dealing with a 3.5-year-old over here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When we have a third, it's going to be difficult because I do feel like And who knows, like when Stratton's 3, maybe he has big little feelings too. But like right now he does not. It's a big teddy bear.
I know. Okay.
So do you think that has created this kind of difference in dynamic between the attention she gets versus Stratton?
Oh, 100%.
I know.
Stella honestly, demands all the attention.
I think that people can be opinionated and judgmental about that all day. But like, this is why the birthing order exists, because like middle children become very like, I just want everyone to be happy. Hey, let's all just be happy. And then the youngest are like wild, and then the oldest are like really responsible. And it just is like a fact of life that when you have your first, you have a full pie of time and attention to give to them.
Yeah.
And then you have two. And by the time that your second is like old enough to like walk and talk, your other is like more demanding.
It's so
you
true.
can't fight it. It's just
when I get my
life.
time
It's
alone
reality.
with Stratton, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy.
I know.
Because he's so easygoing, and like whenever I take Stratton and just like him and I go do something, I'm like, this is wild. Like I would just, it's so different now having two and having them get older and they're like more opinionated, but like, dude, he's so easygoing.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that we've done a good job now of like intentionally spending like one-on-one time with Stratton, just knowing that by default, I think Stella has gotten a little bit more attention. Because, do you feel like there's anything in our kids that we're going to have to like round out as they grow into teenagers and adulthood? Like, for example, for me, I've caught Stella, and this is so how I am. Like, I feel like she got this trait from me. She's always like, I want to be 4. I can't wait to be 5. I can't wait to be 6. Yeah, so it's normal. It's normal. But like, I was always so future focused that it was hard for me to be like present in the moment. So I've just been like trying to encourage her, and I'll be like, Stella, listen, 3 is the best year of your life.
But if they're kids though, they will never understand that.
No, I know, but I think it can make an impact even at 3. No?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like telling her like this year, this moment is the best moment ever. You'll be 4 one day.
No, I think 17 is the best year.
Okay, well, don't tell her that, because then she's just gonna say
3's hard. I mean,
17.
you get absolutely like no control over your life. You can't do
Yeah.
anything. You're like big emotions.
Yeah, 17. But is there anything like in Stella or Stratton that you're seeing? Just even early on?
I think that we're gonna struggle with Stratton being passive, maybe. Like he's just gonna do whatever. Like I'm gonna be like, Stratton, like, what do you want? You know, because
Yeah.
I feel like his sister's gonna boss him around.
Right.
I just see that already. Like he just kind of follows Stella.
Well, even when they play, it's like, Stratton, we're gonna do this. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, see.
Yeah, he's like, she's like, Stratton, you want to play hopscotch? She goes,
He goes,
see.
see.
He's just always like, see.
But when
See or no?
but when Stella's not there, he's always just playing in his own little world, and it's
Dude,
like, this
he
is
has like the
amazing.
best time when he's playing by himself. Like Stella's napping, Stratton comes down and he's like, oh, like he loves it.
And even when we take him to like Sunday school, like I've noticed that he's always kind of like playing by himself.
Oh,
Because he loves it. Not in a sad, lonely way. He just like
he's
his
just
own,
like my blocks,
yeah, he's
my
like
toys.
in his own little world. It's so funny.
No, it was cute yesterday. Stella really wanted to play with him, but Stratton is very like, he's like an old soul. Like Stratton likes music, he likes books, he likes to color, he likes art. He's more creative. Stella's more like logical. She's more like a diplomat. Like I don't know.
I like pink.
She's like,
It's like, I'm a princess.
yeah. But Stratton is very sensitive and creative. And so, you know, Stella's trying to play like house with him. She loves to play house, and they play where they like go night-night and things. And she's like, basically, which equals Stratton just chasing Stella around the house.
Right.
Well, yesterday he came to me and goes, Mommy, he was like, color, please. So he told me like he wanted to color, and Stella was like, no, Stratton, like let's play house and then you can color afterwards. And Stratton's like, no. So I set up his coloring station, you know, up on the whatever, and he's just sitting there. He's like little Picasso, like he's just coloring all by himself, and he had like just the best time coloring and flipping the pages. And Stella's running around the house just like literally going through all my makeup, going through all of our drawers, making the biggest mess ever. And Stratton's just coloring. Like he's like an old soul like that. He loves music. He loves.
Stella has you and your mom's energy. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's like a little tornado.
She is y'all.
Did you see what she did yesterday, y'all? Oh my gosh. No, you didn't, because I didn't post this on stories. So I got this new snow cone machine, and it came in with an envelope of all these powdered flavors. And Stella went through every single packet, opened up every single one of them. This is like big packet of like it's like flavored sugar, essentially. Dumped it all over the floor, and then took her water sprayer for her hair and sprayed water all over it. So we had this like rainbow gunky mess all over our wood floors, and it was like powdered sugar. Like it's so hard to clean up.
Yeah.
It was literally everywhere. And then meanwhile, Stratton's over there like listening to like Mozart coloring in a coloring book. Like, so yeah, I feel like they're definitely being different. I think Stella will have to teach not to be like bossy, to be like considerate of other people's feelings. She's just more of like a boss.
Yeah.
Topic number 2, the fall of the mega church pastor. Since our last solo episode together, a lot has happened in the Christian church world. Mega church pastor Tony Evans has announced that he stepped down as the pastor from Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship due to sin in his life from years ago. Robert Morris, pastor from Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas, has stepped down due to sexual abuse allegations. And Carl Lentz, the ex-mega church celebrity pastor at Hillsong, New York, has made a public reappearance on a new podcast called Lights On, where he and his family discuss in detail their story with his very public moral failure and what it has taught them. All that to say, we don't want to use the segment to judge anyone or to talk about their sins or anything like that, but instead discuss why we think that this continues to happen and what we think the church needs to do to stop it from continuing to happen in the future.
Before we start, have you listened to Carl Lentz's new podcast?
No, you did tell me about it though. I should.
I haven't listened to the last 2 episodes, but I listened to the first 2. How do you feel about him starting a podcast? I've gotten 50-50 feedback on this one.
I think it's great. I think if you have something to say, go for it.
Yeah. I was a big fan of the Hulu documentary too, because I thought it like showed the gospel really well. I guess like the criticism with him starting a podcast is like, it's been 4 years. Like, why would you start one now? Like, if you didn't want to go back into the spotlight and this wasn't about you, like, why would you feel the need to say this in podcast
because he
form?
probably has like reflected and learned so much from his downfall and his experience. I think it would have been unhealthy for him to start it 4 years ago.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a very reflective thing, but it's funny because I've talked to people who knew of him, were pretty close into the Hillsong circle, and they all are still
like burnt
very vehemently against him and are like, he shouldn't have started this podcast. This is all a ploy. Don't trust it, etc. And I'm a little bit more,
hurt.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit more unbiased because I'm like, wow, this is like such a redemptive story.
Yeah. It's hard for people when they've been hurt personally by you to believe that you can change. I get that.
Wow, that was so deep. That was so good. Where'd that come from?
Well, it's just like, I think it's just natural. And anyone's hurt you, like you're always going to believe that they are inherently bad.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hard for you to be like, it's 5 years later. They're probably really good people now.
Why do you think this keeps happening?
Oh my gosh, that's such a deep question. But here, my only thing about Tony Evans that I'm curious about is he stepped down from sin that happened in his life like years ago. That's always interesting to me.
Tony Evans or Robert Morris?
Same. I mean, Robert Morris as well. Apparently, like a lot of his allegations were when he was like in his 20s.
Right.
And I know that it says that Tony Evans stepped down from sin due in his life from years ago as well. And so sometimes I just wonder, I'm like, oh, are these people stepping down because finally they got caught? Or like someone's coming out and finally saying these things, which is kind of hard for me because I do believe that people can change. And like, it's really sad to me. It's like, of course, some of these things are like, these allegations are horrible. And so I don't know I think I'm speaking specifically about Tony Evans.
Yeah.
Now, if these are like sexual allegations, like, yes, they should be held accountable 100%. But sometimes it's like, it's hard because I'm like, man, these are just people and they probably messed up in their 20s. Maybe they got too drunk. Maybe they made a mistake when they were drunk or whatever. And now he's like learned so much and grown so much in like 40, 30 years.
Yeah.
And now he's like, it's like he's stepping down from something that happened in his 20s,
Yeah.
depending on what the sin is. But apparently it wasn't anything illegal, he said. And it was just something that he said, like if he found out about another pastor, he would advise him to step down. But I mean, I'm like, good for him for taking the action on himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so like,
makes
it's
you
so
sad,
hard.
doesn't it?
You know, it makes me sad, but like, I don't know what else to expect. I honestly, like, this is so bad of me, but every single time I go to church, I'm like, this is a pastor. He has dirty secrets. Like, I just think that every time I'm like, this is a pastor. He has dirty secrets. He is a sinner just like me. He has really, really big things and big struggles that he's going through right now in this moment that like we don't know about. So Danny, just remember that. Like, and I tell myself that, and then like, okay, so take it first. But there is not like a pastor that I would ever be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I'm meeting them, because they're just like people.
Yeah.
They're people. And like, so I don't like hold them to that standard. So I feel like when I figure out that they fall short, I'm not as hurt anymore. I did go through that phase. Like I did go through that phase where like I met a lot of my favorite like Christian influencers, and this was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and I met them and like hung out with them. I'm like, these people are not what I expected. I was like, dude, this is so crazy. Like I thought that these people like
We're the model.
We're the model. I was like just so shocked to see that they were like no different than me. And like, not to say this in a weird way, but like they were like I was a better person than they were.
Well, I think that they wanted the fame way more.
Well, it's case by case scenario. But so like after going through that experience and now knowing that like Christian influencers are just people like me too, it doesn't bother me as much whenever they fall short, because I just kind of expect it. I expect it out of every single pastor. I expect them all to fall at some point, because like I just feel like they're people. Not in a bad way. It's not like I want that for them, but it's just like, how are you supposed to like live this perfect life?
Do you think that social media has brought their sin more into the light or perpetuated their sin? Like the social media and all the things that come with it, like the temptation for fame and fortune and the look and the culture.
Sure.
Like, do you think it's like social media has played a good role in uprooting sin from the church, bringing these pastors down, or perpetuating it?
It is very easy to convolute the good that you're doing for your faith when it's actually for like your own personal gain.
1000%.
So, and I've been there myself. So like, I'm not the model either, because it's like, man, look at all these people we're reaching, and now they know about the Lord or they know the gospel. But man, it feels good to know that they're looking at me too. Like,
yes.
And it's really hard to know, like, am I doing this because it feels good to know that people are looking at me, because like it feels good? Well, so then we just think to ourselves, who cares? Both are happening. Both are good. Both are positive. I'll never get a big head. I'll never be like the one that's like seeking fame. So then you just keep riding with it, and you just keep going with it. And you're like, I'm not hurting anyone, so I might as well just keep showing up. But then you get like, what slowly happens is you get like addicted to it. Mm-hmm. Like you need that high. And then you feel like you don't feel like worthy enough or good enough about yourself when you're not getting that high over and over. So you just want more, and but you just think in your head, like, I'm doing it all for like a good reason. So I think a lot of times that happens to people, like you don't even realize until you're too far gone.
Well, so if a celebrity, a mainstream celebrity, struggle with that same addiction, because I think that you just
they all do.
You perfectly illustrated like what happens with that like fame dopamine hit. So are you saying that for a traditional celebrity, at least they're able to catch it and see it for what it is, but it almost gets too convoluted?
I think
for
a traditional celebrity,
Jesus?
I think for a traditional celebrity, because they probably don't have that self-awareness or the accountability or the wisdom to know that they're falling. So then they go down like a totally different path where it's like, man, that's not filling me up anymore. Let me try alcohol. Let me try drugs. Let me try it. Now I'm depressed, and now let me go down that path. I think Christian influencers are like, okay, we know that's wrong. We're not going to go that direction. So let's just keep going with this, like what I can mask my insecurities in, or mask my, this like need for fame in, is doing good works for the masses.
Yeah.
And I'm reaching thousands of people, and I'm a good person. I'm sharing the message. So like, why is that a bad thing?
It's so subtle. It's like
so subtle.
subtly
It's so
deceptive.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know the answer, because like, I think you just have to know if you're capable of like fighting through that, and like you're self-aware enough to like to know. Like, I know that there's some pastors that are like, I know that most of my work needs to be done locally in a church and not online, because they're aware. They're like, I know that I'll fall into that, and like I know that if I'm just producing like these 15-minute clips on Reels that get like 15-20 million views, I know that I'll get like addicted and sucked in and lose myself. So like, I need to go serve at like a local church and serve in front of 2,000 people or 1,000 or 200 people, because like I know that that's like my actual way of serving, not making like a 15-minute clip.
Well, it would put into perspective, am I really doing this for me or am I really doing this for Jesus? Like if you have a pastor who's at a mega church and who can truly step down and step away. I think Francis Chan is one of the ones that did that.
He stepped down?
Yeah, he stepped down because he realized,
I always love that guy.
He realized that people,
hey, he's a sinner too.
people were following Francis Chan and not Jesus. And so I think that that's the true test of the heart is, can I surrender this thing that God has given me, walk away and preach to a crowd of 100 versus 100,000. And he did that, but you see it.
I mean, I don't know where like Maddie and Grant Trout are like in their, I haven't like caught up with her in a while. So, but I've always felt like they've tried to do that.
Yeah.
Like serve locally and tried to, and I know that like Maddie has like a great like presence online and everything, but I feel like since they got married, it's something that they have been actively trying to fight. And like they're both come from like you know, like she's huge on social media and that would be really easy for her to just like fall back into. And it seems like it's something that I've noticed that they're aware of.
Well, they moved to Waco, Texas. That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing.
No,
like
that's what
think
I'm saying.
about
It's
it.
like I agree with you. Like they took a step back. They moved from a dense urban area to Waco. Like they did walk the walk to like actually like sanctify.
It's like respectable.
Yeah, it's respectable. One of the things that's been interesting to me about the Carl Lentz podcast, and I think this is one of the points he's trying to make, is like, you know, you guys, Hillsong, were so quick to rise